All right, here we go. Big Daddy Shin, day 1090 at the park. So yesterday, I went house shopping. Okay, so it's one of those things where I don't know if I want to buy a house now, but I can. But it's like, when people go shopping for things, you go in different price ranges, right? You go, okay, you know what? I pay this much for rent right now, and maybe I could, do this for your mortgage. So you look at houses that you could afford, like you go on those websites, and then you just look at the areas and see if you could afford a house in there. And then so, if you go to like HomeSnap or, Zillow, Redfin, all those things, right? You go and then you just type in different cities and you go, okay, you know what? I want to live in, I don't know, let's say Anaheim, right? Let's go, I want to be by Disneyland. So what you do is you look at it, you put in your minimum price and your maximum price. But the thing is, when you go to your minimum one, a lot of these things are like scams anyway. They'll tell you like, oh, it's only like $80,000. So for the people that don't know, $80,000 is really, really low price. So what happens is if you bought, when you buy a house, like if you're a first time buyer, you put like, I don't know, 5% down, 3% down. So if it's, let's just 100,000. Okay, let's say the things that you're buying a small place, 100,000 dollars. So 3% is $3,000. So you put that down, and then they give you a loan for $97,000 that you have to pay for 30 years. So if you do that in 30 years, you're paying about, $3,000 a year, which means that every year you're paying about, $250 a month. And so, you figure, okay, you can pay that. And then, all the property tax, all this stuff, it adds up and whatever. Okay. Now, the thing is, so you just keep doubling it. And then, so, I heard every $50,000 is supposed to be like $500. I don't know if that's true. Is it? No. Okay. Every 100,000 is supposed to be like $500 a month. I think that's how it is. And then, so, if you got a $300,000, house, it would cost $1,500 a month. So you got to figure out, okay, can I afford that? And then, so when you do that, you go, okay, I'm going to look at these houses. And then you're like, gosh, I don't know if I like these. I don't, it's like, I go and I like my apartment better than this place, and that's the thing you think of. And when you live in LA, Southern California area, these house prices are ridiculous. So if you're outside of LA, Orange County, you would kind of you don't understand the magnitude of. Well, let's say, for instance, this house right there, okay? Do you see it? Right? Down right there? Yeah, this one? I'm guessing it's about 1,000 square feet. And that one's probably $650,000. So, you're talking about $3,000 a month to live right there. Right? To be able to go, oh, yeah, big home. I mean, I don't think they bought it for there, but if you bought it now, like right now, that's what it'd be, And you go, oh, look, I don't think these are 7. There's no way these are 7. Maybe I'll check it out during right break or whatever. But anyway, so when you look at these, now I'm not saying that just to brag or whatever. It's just that houses are so expensive over here. And so when you look at the different houses, you're like, gosh, I wonder what it'd be like if I spent $2,000 a month. And then you look at it, you go, oh my gosh, and they're so much better. The houses that are $2,000 a month are so much better than $1,500 a month, right? And it starts creeping up. After you get tired of looking at the same $2,000 ones and you go, oh, $2,500, whatever for that. Ooh, $3,000 a month, whatever, right? And you look, and after a certain point, you're just dreaming anyway, you know? So what happened is yesterday, I go and I look at this one house, right? And, you know, it's within striking distance of the range that I could afford. And I'm like, all right, you know what, let's go. You know, my mom likes one-story houses, so I'm like, okay, I'll get a one-story house. I mean, it wasn't like that. It just happened. There was a one-story house, and it passed the eye test, you know. It didn't look like, you know, I'm going to have to call Harold the handyman for some handiwork. And it was you know, looks move-in ready. So I did it. I went there, and then, you know, this real estate agent is horrible, just so you know. The person, like, I called them, you know, I was going to call the agent, see if they want to, like, do the whole double commission type thing, right? And then they go, oh, can't talk, I'm driving. I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm looking at the reviews. Like, they didn't sell a house for, like, a year, maybe 2 years. And then they're a real estate agent, and they can't take a call. I thought everybody had hands-free from their cars, you know, except this agent. Then I looked at the reviews. Oh, it's just hard to get a hold of stuff. I go, ah, crap. You know what? Forget this, people. So I drove around. I drove and I saw it. I'm like, wow, this is really amazing, right? But then I drove up the street. I'm like, wow, look at this area. And there's this one street where it had like insane views. And then I looked at thinking that there's like a real estate sign outside of one of them. I'm like, let's see how much this one is. I type in the address. It was like $1 million. I mean, it wasn't $1 million. It seemed like $1 million, but it was like a couple $100,000 more than I could even, you know, like I was looking at. I'm like, shoot. Because I'm like, gosh, this looks pretty awesome. I think my mom would like this. But I think I would like it, you know? And it's one of those happily ever after type houses. I'm like, gosh, can I swing this? And then so, you know, I'm looking at it, doing the math, realizing if I buy this house with all the insurance, all that stuff, you know, and then, I don't know, let's say food, let's say I want to eat, right? I'm pushing it. I mean, can I swing it? I totally can. But it's just that I'm so used to, okay, so I'll tell you how much I pay for rent right now. Right now I pay $11.75 for a 2-bedroom place in, you know, near LA Orange County, which is a steal. If you do not know the real estate over here, it's a steal. And then so, you know, why move, right? But what do you call it? Yeah, so when I'm looking at the thing, I see the pool, I see the backyard. It's overlooking a canyon. In the front of the house, I can see where my grand piano is going to go. You know, I actually didn't see where my YouTube videos would be filmed, but probably outside in my canyon. You know, but it's one of those things where it's like, gosh, it's just too much house, you know. But you know, it's in a nice area, all that kind of stuff. Okay, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is, you know, if you look things at hard enough, it's gonna grow on you, right? And then so when you try to go and do your things, it doesn't really make much of a difference in the beginning. Like, let's say when I lose weight, right? It's like, you know, when you lose like a 1 pound, 2 pounds, you don't see a big difference at all. It looks exactly the same. You lose 5 pounds. Yeah, it's pretty significant, right? And then, but still, it looks the same as what you did 5 pounds ago. And then, 10 pounds, you're starting to get there. We're upgrading to another level of house, right? But then when you go to the bigger ones, 50 pounds, just say 100 pounds, right? You're really in a different neighborhood of real estate. You're going to look super different. And then so, once you get to that level, do you just have a battered house that's worth that much? Or are you going to do a little bit of landscaping, cut a little extra skin here, there. I don't want to do plastic surgery, but if I ever had to lose that much weight, I'd think about it. Because you'd have so much extra skin. But anyways, yeah, those things, and then try to make it look like $1 million house. I'm like, yeah, now here's the thing. Here's a reason why that's really flawed. Because no matter how expensive of a house you can get, there's always a house that's more expensive. Okay? So, thing is, I saw these houses that are worth like, $800,000, $1 million, You even look at the ones that are $1.2 million. You're like, oh my gosh. Like, first of all, there's no way I have that much kind of jack that I could actually spend that much money. There's no way. So, that's why. And then you see like those Zestimate payments. It's like, 1 month's salary. You're like, oh my gosh. But, yeah. And then, when I go through these areas and just for fun, which I do not recommend you do. Just for fun, you put no limit on the search on how much the houses are. Then you start seeing the $5 million homes, the $8 million homes, $10 million homes. You're like, oh my gosh, there are actually homes that big and they're for sale. So somebody could technically click the button, reach an agent, and buy that house. I'm like, I can't even imagine even clicking it just as a joke, So that's why it's like, if you really, really beat yourself up on trying to be the best, get the best, buy the best, there's always going to be something better. So, in essence, yesterday, that first house that I saw, without driving up the street and spending $200,000 more, just to be like a little bit higher. Well, it's a little bit higher, plus it's a lot of bit higher. And then also there's a pool, there's a big canyon, there's a lot of stuff. But I should have just been happy looking at that one. Even there's one a little bit lower down the hill, no view, but it's about $50,000 cheaper. And, should I be happy with that? But then when you start digressing and you're like, you know what? I'm going to get this, then I could get this house, or then I could get this. Why even move? So that's why this whole thing about real estate and losing weight, I just got to have a plan. It's all your perspective on how you like yourself, like your house. I don't know. I'll come up together with something on this. All right, there you go. Day 1090 in the books. So while I'm walking around and stuff, that agent actually called me back. And then so I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's a good sign. So, they said, oh yeah, if you want to see the house, the owner's there and you got to sign a COVID paper. And okay, I get it, right? And then so I'm like, what, I have to get tested? I'm not going to get tested to go see a house. So, I got to sign some paper and then go. But we'll check it out. And then so now the whole thing about getting a house that's like $200,000 more expensive, I'm like, okay, I'll go look at this one instead. That's crazy. But, what can you do? What can you do? So I'm going to prepare for that and be happy. And then we'll see what the inside looks like on this. And then I'm going to imagine my bedroom, my kitchen, the bathroom, what multimedia room I'm going to have. See that backyard view. So I'm pretty excited. I am. But I have to realize that, like, you know, you have to just evaluate like what you could afford, what you want, and then, like, you know, and then just not think about if something's like a little bit better, a little bit worse, or whatever, you know. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, the difference on, you know, on just when it's like a little bit of price, not too much difference. When you get to the bigger prices, yeah. So anyways, there's a little bit more than the other. It's a lot of it more than the other houses I was looking at, and that's why it's like mind blowing that this is actually in this kind of price range. But I guess it's all adulting. All right. But anyways, Big Daddy Shin Day 1090. If I exercise 1090 days in a row, you can exercise 1090 days in a row. If I could do it, you could do it, and I am doing it. Little big differences. All right.